Hey G fans, GojiFan93 here, and I'm here to give my thoughts on Godzilla Dominion. This is pretty much the last graphic novel prequel comic that has been released until the next one gets released for Godzilla X Kong. But yeah, the Godzilla Dominion was one that I was actually looking forward to because of the concept, the idea that this is literally from the perspective of Godzilla. There's really absolutely no dialogue. There are just, I guess I would say, thought bubbles or expository, blurps that, pretty much talk about what Godzilla is feeling in that moment during the story or whatnot. And pretty much the whole story is Godzilla just kicking ass. Like, that's really pretty much what it is when you boil it down. It's one of those things that, again, I'm like, I wish that this could have been at the beginning of Godzilla vs. Kong. Like, one of the things that bothered me so much was just the intro. That the intro just glossed over the fact that Godzilla was like taking out some of these titans or whatever. And I know that I think some of the titans, like, I don't know, went in hiding or whatever, but it's just like, I don't know, you have all these titans and it would have been cool to like see Godzilla actually fight all of these titans just in some cool intro thing before the movie really gets started. But we pretty much get that with this comic, and that's really it. There's not much else to say. The biggest thing is that the illustrations are really well done. I love the art style in it. It's I don't know if it was made by the same artist who did Kingdom Kong, but it's really well done. I love the way Godzilla looks. Again, the cover art's a little funky looking. Godzilla looks a little like stubby. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's that similar cover style to the Kingdom Kong one, which also looked kind of weird. But overall though, I'd say that, with the comics, reading the comics, it's been fun. But the main problem I have is that I'm just not a big comic book reader, and it's just hard for me to really get invested into the story or into really what's going on. And that's either due to my horrible attention span when it comes to reading something, or also depending on if the layout of the comic is, if it's laid out well, if there's a lot of panels that are, like complex panels that make it hard to read or whatever. This one wasn't hard to understand really, again, because there wasn't really a plot. It was really just Godzilla going through and, taking out monsters and all that. So at the end of the day, I'd say, overall, I'm happy that I've read the comic books for the MonsterVerse stuff, but I don't see myself either continuing to read the comics, and I really don't see myself, reading any other Godzilla comic books for that matter. So I know, like, a lot of people in the community are going crazy for the whole Godzilla versus DCEU or whatever. I'm just not interested in that stuff. I don't necessarily care about those certain crossovers, nor do I feel the need to read all these comic books, because there are so many Godzilla comic books now, and it's just like, I don't know. I'm just not a big comic book reader, and I don't get a lot out of it. So I don't really know if I will be reading the next MonsterVerse comic. I think it's called like Godzilla X Kong the Hunted or something like that. And I think there's also another comic book that was like an exclusive that was in this like compilation one that was called, it was like the MonsterVerse Omniverse thing or something like that. It was like a compilation of like every comic book up to this date. But I don't know, I think it was like called Fight or Flight, I think it was like an exclusive comic book. Again, not sure if I'm actually really going to read those, because in my honest opinion, all of these comics with their, being prequels and having a little bit of story, it's there, but honestly, I've gotten more out of the novels in terms of filling in certain details and plot points than these comic books have. Especially the Kong ones, to me, they're really forgettable a little bit, in my opinion. The Godzilla ones have been okay. I did like Aftershock. I really would say Aftershock is my favorite comic out of all of them, really. But I really did like Godzilla Dominion because of the fact that it's like this cool take on just being there for Godzilla when he's just fighting monsters, and you get to hear his perspective, I guess, or something like that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when when the next comic book comes out, and we'll, you know, with Godzilla X Kong and how the hype train will roll with it. I'm not sure. But I am looking forward to see like if they'll do a novelization for Godzilla X Kong. I'm sure they will. Because I guarantee there'll be a lot of stuff cut out from the film that they'll put in the novel, so that's just usually how it goes. So yeah, if you wanted my ranking though, now that I've read all the MonsterVerse comic books up to this point, I would probably have to go my least favorite, would probably be Godzilla Awakening. Then it would probably be the Kong one, so either Birth of Kong or Kingdom Kong. Those ones to me are sort of interchangeable. And then I'd probably go with Godzilla Dominion and then Godzilla Aftershock. So those are like my rankings for all of the comic books that are a part of the MonsterVerse so far. Obviously, I know that there's the Fight or Flight comic that was an exclusive to a compilation book, and then I know that the I think it's the Hunted or something like that for the Godzilla X Kong tie-in is coming out soon as well. So. But that's it for me, guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys when I get to reviewing the novelization of Godzilla vs. Kong, and that'll do it. So thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay big, G fans.